power. And the fact that they've been on the sidelines all this time, and now aren't, is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, but the thing that bothers me about their whole act, and to some extent the Japanese as well.
What the hell?
Oh, I don't mind that. It's a nice support garment.
Oh.
You know, varicose veins. You're there, you're drinking all day at your Oktoberfest. It's good to have support.
I'm fine with that under your pants, but
But see, you've got that weird view of shorts. You and Michael Savage, anti-shorts. The moment it's warm enough, I'm throwing shorts back on.
Yeah, grown men should not wear shorts. But let's get past that to what we were talking about with Germany rearming and...
Oh, right, yeah. What bothers me about their whole act is they're the guy, picture like an old western town. They're the guy who forswears violence. I will shoot my 6-gun no more. I am a pacifist. But they surround themselves with a bunch of gunmen. Or, you know, maybe gunmen's the wrong term. Folks who are handy with firearms that will protect them if they ever need it. And over again, threats have come. And those big mean guys with guns, rough men ready to violence, to quote one great author, have leapt to their defense and protected anything bad from happening. Well, that's Germany and Japan. For a while, they had to be, because they'd, well, I don't know, try to make a conquest of the globe and cause tens of millions of people to die. But at this point, you got to be able to defend yourself, Germany. Come on. Making us do it, making us pay for it. Oh, that reminds me. I heard the other day, and I want to get this in. Old man Macron over in France, he was talking about France's new commitment to spending.
His pretty hair and his ridiculously hairy chest on display often.
Again, the chest is not the key point, but he was talking about France's new dedication to spending on defense in the wake of the craziness unleashed by Russia. They're going to raise defense spending by 40%. 40%, Jack, and they hope that by the year 2030, they'll be up to the 2% of their GDP that they agreed to be. So that's their big, bold, look how tough we are pledge. Sometime in the next decade, we'll sort of start to meet our obligations. Unfreaking believable. One thing Trump was right about was calling NATO out for being a bunch of phonies that were leeching off us.
Well, they didn't have to worry about it. The big bad United States is going to keep the world order. Why should we spend our money on that? So we talked a lot about yesterday. So Biden came out and announced we're sending the Abrams tanks, and we covered all that and how nobody was mentioning the fact that it's going to be like a year and a half before they get the Abrams tanks. So how important to the immediate future of the war? Well, maybe it was just part of the domestic politics with a variety of countries that were able to unleash the Leopard tanks, which are going to get there much sooner. There are, according to the New York Times, 105 tanks currently committed, and most of them are the Leopard tanks that are all over Europe. They can get there pretty fast. But in terms of what we're doing, I came across this, which I thought was really interesting. The commitment of armor, the tanks, is a commitment to build a logistics operation for Ukraine that will revolutionize their military capabilities. That's the big level up. So the laying the groundwork that is necessary, the logistical groundwork, to even have the Abrams that we'll be starting on probably, yesterday, that is the game changer.
So it's the difference between saying, we'll give you 10 737s, and saying, we'll build you an airport and get you mechanics and baggage handlers and ground traffic controllers and pilots and stewardesses and the rest.
Yeah, the runways.
We'll train them up for you at the very least.
The runways and the fuel and the air traffic control towers and all the stuff that you need. Yeah.
Bags of peanuts, the whole bit.
The little pretzels, which I was discussing the other day.
Well, that's peanuts anymore.
On Southwest, the little pretzels, it's those little tiny baby breads. That's what tastes so good. The little baby bread, little baby toast. It's like little infant toast. It's like that big, and it's salty, and it's so good.
In your variety pack of salty things that we all are familiar with, the little toast is the king of that bag.
Tiny toast. I always say to my kids, you can eat your tiny toast? Because it's off-putting to them. I love the tiny toast.
Oh, you're so lucky.
to have extra tiny toast. Yes.
I wish, why can't you buy a freaking bag of the tiny toast?
Right. What is that you put in there? Is that just filler of some sort? We've got more on the way. Stay here.
Armstrong and Getty.
Tired of expensive temporary prescriptions still leaving your pet itchy with a dull coat or fur loss? It all starts with their food. Add Dinovite to supplement the nutrients they're missing to support a healthy digestive tract, skin and coat, and immune system for your pet. Get a free probiotics booster with your purchase of Dinovite for dogs by using code DOG at dinovite.com. Happy year with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dinovite. Tax Network USA. If you have a tax debt, big or small, unfiled returns, we'll file them. Don't waive your rights, we'll fight for you. Saving money on your taxes, that's all we do.
With Tax Network USA, our firm can save you up to 75% on your tax bill. Call now for your free consultation. Call 1-800-245-6000. 6000. 1-800-245-6000.
At Total Wine and More, save with hundreds of deals. Get up to 35% off over 100 different wines and spirits, including Cabernet, sparkling wine, single barrel, and so much more. These savings are huge, and even better, they're on top of prices that are already the down. Deals this good don't last long, so visit Total Wine and More to find yours. Love what you find at the lowest price, only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly, B21.
This is Jesse Kelly here. I can't afford to lose 30% of my 401k or IRA again, and I'm assuming you can't either. Call Oxford Gold. Securing 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick your precious metal. That's it. You now own precious metal. Call Oxford Gold today to learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan. 833-404-GOLD, 833-40.
Investing involves risk, including possible loss of principal. Income may be subject to state, local, or federal alternative minimum tax. When interest rates rise, prices fall. When interest rates fall, prices rise.
There's one word we can all agree on today. Free. Everyone likes a free meal or a free ride. But how about tax-free income? Municipal bonds can provide better that can serve as the cornerstone for your portfolio. Henyon & Walsh is a leading specialist in tax-free municipal bonds and provides individual investors with quality service and personal attention. Call Henyon & Walsh today to learn more about the benefits of bonds. Call 1-800-761-9761 now, and they'll send their informative. No obligation, no cost. Just dial 1-800-761-9761 today to receive a free copy of their informative bond guide, because free is always the right price. Call Henyon & Walsh today at 1-800-761-9761. Henyon & Walsh Inc., member FINRA SIPC.
Have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. For your free SelectQuote at 1-800-929-2121. That's 1-800-929-2121. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-929-2121. That's 1-800-929-2121. SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com.
Semper Solaris is your local veteran-owned and operated solar battery storage, roofing, heating, and air conditioning solution. Choose Semper Solaris and declare your independence from the energy companies. Visit SemperSolaris.com today.
She was 27 years old. She got in her car and took the gun that I had given her for self-defense. She never got to see her son grow up to be anything. because she had easy access to a gun. I've been robbed of that relationship.
65 Americans a day die by gun suicide. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn more at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
Access to cutting-edge treatment can help make long-term survival possible.
Stand Up to Cancer and the Lust Garden Foundation have teamed up to bring pancreatic trials to those who need them.
For more information, visit pancreaticcancercollective.org.
The Armstrong and Getty Show.
I need the freshest popcorn. I need you to make me a batch right now, and if you don't, I'm not getting it. And that's directly out of the kettle because it's so hot. It's still this like warm, like mush ball. It's not good. You want popcorn that has been sitting there for an hour or so, maybe. We're making popcorn all day long and sitting there for days on end, but popcorn actually doesn't. But you're never gonna have popcorn a week old at a movie theater. Just so you know.
The myth of popcorn being fresh, she says. I can attest because my kids regularly eat popcorn if we're doing movie night or something, and I'll the next morning, if there's some left in their bowl, I'll eat it, and it's still very good the next morning.
I don't recall the last time I was at the movie theater.
Well, popcorn at home, I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So it's just the idea of popcorn. Later, it doesn't have to be fresh. It's still very, very good, in my experience.
Yeah, we used to bring popcorn when I was a kid.
Into the theater?
Yeah, smuggle it in.
Wow.
That's probably, what, defrauding an innkeeper,
yeah, that's a crime.
Services? Or,
yeah, that's clearly...
or trespassing grain or something. That's unauthorized corn, son.
So we talked about this before. There are a couple of things you can do in your life that almost guarantee you will not be in poverty. And it's graduate high school, don't have kids until you get married, and what's the other one? Get a good job. No, that wasn't it. Something like that.
Don't have kids until you're married until you're out of high school. Something like it.
Yeah, those kind of things. I mean, it's a pretty low barrier to entry to the non-poverty world. Mm-hmm. But so here are some of your statistics. The Family and Estate of Crisis Census Bureau in 1950, almost 80% of households were made up of married couples. By 2021, the percentage of adults living with a spouse decreased to about half. For decades, the percentage of children living with a single parent has been increasing, and the U.S. now has the world's highest rate of children living in a household, 3 times the world average. Wow. The United States has 3 times the world average of children living in a single-parent household.
We're a decadent society.
Well, that's a judgment, which I agree with, but even without that judgment...
Yeah, I'll leave that out. I apologize.
Even
I retract my judgment.
The judgment of what is good and what is bad, there's no getting around the fact that if you restructure society that greatly, there's going to be a result of some sort. Mm-hmm. You know, maybe you from that. I don't know that you can. I think it's pretty easy to point to some negative results that have come from that. But you can't have a massive change like that without, you know, getting some reason. Something's going to happen.
Yeah, right. Is there more to that, or I was about to go off on a screed? Back.
Since 1965, the decline of marriage and the rise of out-of-wedlock births has accelerated at an alarming rate. Consider these stats. In 1940, 2% of white births were born outside of wedlock. In 1963, it was 3%. The percentage of out-of-wedlock births for blacks jumped from 17% to 24% in that same time period. Today, the disintegration of family more stark and across different lines. For black people, the rate of out-of-wedlock births is almost 70%. 60%. For Hispanics, it's 52%. For whites, it's a third, and for Asians, it's only 12%. But still way higher than it was back in the day.
Out-of-wedlock birth, a strong indicator of poverty, incarceration, drug addiction, etc.
Yeah,
it's not universal by means, but it's
no. And you could make the argument. Well, there are way more people that don't feel like the piece of paper that says you're married is important. Okay, You might be right in your case, but statistically, a whole bunch of other numbers go right alongside the out-of-wedlock birth numbers.
Yeah, if I'm going to be honest about it, I would suggest that somebody who decides I'm going to have a kid on my own, or we're not going to get married in the year 2023, is different from a person who would do that in 1971 because of the society that surrounds them. So yeah, those statistics will have to be redone. I would also predict with zero fear of being contradicted that though the numbers of incarcerations, poverty, drug addiction might not be as stark as they used to be, they'll still be significantly higher than an intact family, a mom and dad family.
You know, we do 4 hours of this show. Some of it's good. If you miss an hour, you can get it in podcast form, Armstrong and Getty On Demand.
Wherever you like to get podcasts, all the big platforms have us. Or just go to ArmstrongandGetty.com. There's a link.
Armstrong and Getty.
Talk Radio 560 KSFO San Mateo, a Cumulus media station.
The FBI chief weighs in. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Director Christopher Wray responding to questions about the handling of classified information and whether the White House system of tracking them is broken after President Biden and Mike Pence were all found to have documents.
People need to be conscious of the rules regarding classified information and appropriate handling of it. Those rules are there for a reason.
Wray says it's unfortunate these investigations are now a regular part of the government's work. He spoke alongside the U.S. Attorney General. Disruption of a ransomware group, Hive, accused of targeting hundreds of victims around the world, including hospitals, school districts, and FBI penetrating the group's networks and capturing its decryption keys, thwarting more than $1 million in ransom demands. He was the first officer on the scene from the Colleton County Sheriff's Office when Alec Murdaugh's wife and son were killed in South Carolina. Now, he's the first witness at Murdaugh's murder trial.
The sergeant describes the victim's injuries in gruesome detail. He said Murdaugh appeared to be crying, but there were no visible tears. Sergeant Daniel Green says without prompting, Murdaugh offered an explanation for the crime.
Did Mr. Murdaugh give you any possible explanation for this when you approached him?
His immediate reaction was to start telling me about an incident that had happened with his son with a boating accident.
The Murdaugh family faced a lawsuit over an accident in which son Paul was allegedly intoxicated when he crashed a boat, causing the death of a 19-year-old passenger. It was just one of many mounting financial and legal problems that prosecutors say led Murdaugh to in an effort to create a distraction.
Fox's Jonathan Seri, the defense, says prosecutors are trying to prove their own preconceived notions. America is listening to Fox News.
My friend had his home stolen. The crime is home title theft. It's real. It's horrendous, but it's real, and it's everywhere. Now, luckily, this was just a demo, but I see criminals all around the world target American homeowners, and that's why I protect my home with Home Title Lock, and you need to as well. And a thief can simply forge your signature on a legal document claiming you sold your home to the homeowners insurance and common identity theft programs do not protect you, but Home Title Lock does. So protect yourself. Just go to their website. It's HometitleLock.com/Sean, SEAN. Verify your home's title is still safely in your name. Then just register your address for a free, no obligation home title report for your files. That is a $100 value, absolutely free. That's HometitleLock.com/Sean, HometitleLock.com/Sean, SEAN.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Commercial insurance can protect your small business with over 30 coverage options, an easy-to-use mobile app, personalized discounts, and more. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
Dan Bongino. Remember, it was Barack Obama who said, "Do not underestimate Joe's ability to things up." It rhymes with cluck. Bongino, 9 to noon on your radio and smart speaker at 560 KSFO.
This Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, Molly Stone's Markets is offering fresh, local a pound. Don't miss out on this extra special local treat while supplies last. Find a Molly Stone's location near you at mollystones.com.
KSFO's Dan Bongino. We are so much